Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is Humza Yousaf, who is off to America next month on a jolly 4 days speaking events in America with a Muslim group with ties to the Muslim Brotherhood and other crazy things like saying good things about terror groups, wanting America to unprescribe people such as Hezbollah, Hamas nonetheless. And this group are welcoming Humza. Now, if I can find out such horrific things about this group with my means, I'm quite sure a man of Humza's means is aware of these things as well, which makes me think he must be quite willing to stand with them. Not once, but 4 events over the course of a few days. Now, I have scripted this one, which is not like me, so if you see my eyes wandering about up here, it's because I'm reading from my large TV behind my camera, because there's so much detail in this that I would never have remembered every single thing. So I've got a script for this one. So it's about Humza Yousaf, our former First Minister of Scotland, the man who made history as Europe's first Muslim head of government, only to step down amid a political storm last year. Well, it turns out he's not content with his MSP duties back home. No, he's heading to Arizona. Home, the sun-baked deserts and tumbleweeds, to be a keynote speaker for the Muslim Public Affairs Council, MPAC, to those in the know. And this is happening in November, just as he's still drawing a salary from Hollywood. As an ex-First Minister, isn't that a bit undignified? Let's break that down. I first spotted this elsewhere, and credit where credit's due, the Scottish Daily Express covered it, and they nailed it. Yousaf's on a 4-day US tour, kicking off with an event in Arizona called An Evening with Humza Yousaf, Europe's first Muslim head of government. He's billed to discuss building representation, advocacy and advancing change as Muslim leaders in government alongside MPAC's Vice President, Haris Tareen. Then it's straight to Los Angeles for their annual benefit gala on November the 9th, where tickets run at $162 a pop. He is the star attraction, sharing the stage with retired Green Beret, blowing the whistle on alleged Israeli war crimes in Gaza. It's framed as a night of unity and inspiration for the pro-Palestine cause. Fair enough on the surface, Yousaf has been vocal in Gaza, calling for ceasefires and aid, but choosing MPAC as your platform, this is where it gets ridiculous and frankly a tad reckless for someone of his stature. Look, a bit of international speaking isn't unusual for ex-leaders. Think of Tony Blair's Middle East Johnson or Boris Johnson's paid gigs, but this feels off. For starters, Yousaf, still an active MSP for Glasgow Pollock, firing off parliamentary questions on international law and humanitarian aid. That's his prerogative. Yet here he is using his first Muslim leader prestige to headline for an organisation with a track record that raises more questions than it answers. MPAC was formed in 1986 as the political arm of an Islamic centre in California, led by figures like Mehar Hathout and Salam al-Mariati. They promote civil engagement, policy influence and positive media portrayals of Muslims. Admirable goals, on paper. Their charity arm even scores a solid 89% from Charity Navigator for transparency. But scratch beneath that and you uncover ties that no ex-First Minister should touch with a 10-foot pole. Let's start with the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood is an Islamic network founded in 1928, outlawed in places like Egypt and Saudi Arabia for its role in fostering extremism. In 1989, internal Muslim Brotherhood memo explicitly lists Hathout, the founder, among their US contacts, and evidence from 2008 Holy Land Foundation trial where 5 were convicted of funneling $12 million to Hamas. Ties MPAC to a sprawling web of over 70 Brotherhood-linked groups in America including the CAIR, ISNA. MPAC insists they're independent now, but those origins don't vanish overnight. Then there are direct links to designated terror groups. In 2003, MPAC lobbied to delist Hamas, Hezbollah and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Behind me is Glasgow Sheriff Court, one of Europe's busiest courts. And because of that fact, we'll see every week several members of the public and podcasters, etc., facing trials in here for a number of things. However, an increase in number are for posts on social media, videos on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. And for that reason and that reason alone, I believe it would make sense for everybody who does podcasts as a minimum to join the Free Speech Union, because they will help protect you when the law turns on you. That doesn't give you carte blanche to say what you want as a member, but it does give you the protection to help you when the law goes wrong. This is not now only something that should be considered by podcasters, because we are seeing more and more people each day arrested. Normal people who don't even see themselves as civilian journalists, arrested for posts on social media. So it makes sense to join the Free Speech Union, because we live in this country in 2025. From the US terror watch list, describing Hezbollah as a liberation movement, the kind of phrasing that wouldn't fly in a UN briefing. Their former executive director, Maddie Bray, was recorded in 2000 publicly praising both Hamas and Hezbollah. And, there we go. And on September 11th, 2001, Al Marati went on air suggesting Israel might be responsible for September 11th. A claim he did retract later, but the damage was done. Fast forward to October the 7th, 2023. Hamas attacks. MPAC's initial response blamed violence from both parties, only clarifying against Hamas after a public outcry. They've also amplified anti-Semitic troops, like 2009 claim of Israel organ harvesting from Palestinians. This is something that we hear regular now. This isn't fringe stuff, it's documented in federal trials and reports from groups like the Investigative Project on Terrorism. This is Humza's new pals. And it doesn't stop there. MPAC partners with the FBI and DHS on counter-extremism training, which sounds proactive until you hear from the Muslim community themselves, who call it a front for surveillance and entrapment in mosques. A 2023 investigation highlighted how these programmes erode trust, with MPAC accused of siding with authorities over their own people. So picture this. Humza Yousaf, fresh off running Scotland's government, flies economy, one hopes, to America to lend his gravitas to an outfit with this baggage. The UK's Advisory Committee on Business Appointments green-lit his speaking roles back in January, post-resignation. But, as an ex-First Minister, he has the responsibility to Scotland's reputation and, I might add, its Jewish community, who might see this as an abandonment amid rising tensions. Critics are clearly labelling it tone deaf, a blatant cash grab to burnish his post-Holyrood profile. Charging top dollar for inspiration while cozying up to controversy. It's like inviting a fox to guard the hen house, or in this case, a former leader to a group with skeletons in the closet. I should note Yousaf is no stranger to passion on these issues. With family ties to Gaza, he's marched in protests and pushed for accountability, elevating Muslim voices globally. That's valid, but platforming MPAC with its Brotherhood shadows and terror group flirtations undermines that. It's not just risky, it's unnecessary. Scotland's got ferries to fix, nurses to pay, and a government to steady. Does our ex-top man really need to play international firebrand in the cowboy country to make his point? Anyway, that's my tuppence on this desert detour? What do you think? Savvy networking or spectacular misstep? Let me know in the comments below. So, if you want others to see this, hit the thumbs up, hit the share and put your comments below. If you've not already done so, or you think you've already done, double check that you're still subscribed to the channel, and if not, hit that subscribe button please. But more important than all that, unless you're the type of First Minister that wants to court with these types of people, well, you're still my MSP, meant to be representing me in Holyrood, then not you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.